Okay, great. It looks like
Okay.
we've got two attendees. So that's great.
Yeah, that's great. Let's just wait a few more minutes to let people kind of log on and then we'll get started.
So I would assume the new incoming counselors are excited. Probably this is a time when they're excited, right?
Yes, we had a very extensive council session yesterday. It was the last council session for the counselors, the outgoing counselors that will not be returning, and the interim mayor, Mayor Eccles. So there was some really wonderful words exchanged, and just a lot of excitement and a lot of just heartfelt, like, oh, wow, like saying goodbye is hard too. So,
Right.
Right.
Is that Councilor Morales okay with a 13 vote?
Yeah, I think
Historic.
well, I think what's great is that it was so close, but also he continues to serve.
Right.
So, it's a really great group of incoming counselor elects. And so just onboarding, right? Lots of information, lots of learning,
Yeah.
getting to know all of the staff at City Hall. It's going to take some time, but it's exciting. I'm excited for 2021. I'm hoping that, we're starting from here, and I'm just looking for a brighter, more more potential in 2021. And this project, just in doing the construction and all of that, is super exciting to think about when we can open the doors. So things to look forward to.
Yeah, that'll be a big part of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Should we wait a little longer?
We can wait a couple more minutes. We have some people kind of dropping in, so just wait maybe one more minute. We'll let people get online and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, I think we can get started now. I imagine more people will drop in, but we'll just kind of go along with it. As a reminder, everyone, this will be recorded and posted on our website. So if you would need to share it with anybody else that you think would be interested, it will be available there. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so we can do our intros. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Shauna, and I'm going to be moderating this webinar today. I think that we can start by doing just a quick introduction between our two panelists, Roy Kim from Arcam Development and Emily Bauer with the City of Gresham. So why don't we have you guys just do a little self-introduction. Emily, we'll start with you.
Great. Hi, Shauna. Hello, Roy Kim, and hello, participants. I'm Emily Bauer. I'm the Executive Director with the Gresham Redevelopment Commission. I've been with the City of Gresham and city staff for about 6 years, but have been in this role only the last year or so, about a year. In November, I would celebrate 1 year. So I'm excited to be here and happy to serve our community and the greater Gresham. So looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you, Emily. Good to see you. My name is Roy Kim. I'm we were selected as a developer for Rockwood, downtown Rockwood, the formerly Rockwood Rising project. We're thrilled that we are part of this great project, and we'll give more updates. But yeah, that's me.
Okay, great. Well, we'll dive right in. I'm going to share my screen just so we have a little bit of a visual to lead the discussion. So as you can see here, we're going to start diving right into the project with the new, the very first building, I guess, as part of phase 1 of the Downtown Rockwood project. So maybe Roy and Emily, you could kind of talk a little bit about Oregon Tradeswomen, what they're about, and why they're so important to this project.
Yeah, I'll talk about the, for those of you, many of you will probably know, but this is where the Fred Meyer Pharmacy used to be, that outbuilding right off of 187th. So that building was the original building, and that was remodeled. So inside was basically gutted, and it was rebuilt to what you see in the picture. And they opened in January of this year. We were very fortunate that we could have Oregon Tradeswomen as a partner. They were in North Portland, and they came here and moved their office here, as well as their classroom that you see there in the picture, as well as the shop space that are on the top left and then top right picture. They actually have shop space, so they can actually make things with tools you see there in the picture. So yeah, that was the first building that opened.
Yes, I think I'll just add to that our excitement as the city. Oregon Tradeswomen has been a longstanding organization in the Portland metro region area to really support and provide access to workforce development in the communities of color and women owned or women focused apprenticeships, programming, and the opportunity to really give a platform for this for folks to enter into the trades industry, which tends to be a hard industry to engage with. So with their programming, their support, and their resources, they've really been able to provide more pathways for women and women of color to access those trades. So it's been really exciting to see them. Unfortunate with the COVID scenario hitting in April, they had to really be nimble and adjust. When they first opened up, they were at capacity, their programs were full, they were operating, and everything was going really well. And then with COVID, they've had to really restructure how they do their courses. I believe the last time I checked in with their executive director that they are now doing some online courses and providing that as an interim. So we're excited to have them, and we're hopeful for 2021 to provide more hands-on opportunity at the facility. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, such an amazing organization. Okay, great. Well, thank you for that update. And let's see, the next update will be on the new business center. This image is from the southwest corner, I believe. So it's a pretty cool view. And maybe you guys could kind of take us through some of the businesses that are in there.
Yeah, this building was built ground up. We started construction last year, and we finished it this year. So in the summer, the building was finished, and these organizations started moving in. Yeah, it's a 4-story building, and on the ground floor, we have the Little Wings Academy, which is a preschool and a daycare. A local existing preschool and daycare moved over. Erica owns and runs the academy, and we're fortunate to have her there. She's fully operating right now. So if any of you haven't been there, it's a fantastic space, large rooms for plenty of distancing. And she's having to deal with the COVID restriction and the spacing requirements now, but we expect it to be an important asset to the community. And also on the that's there at the west half of the ground floor, and east half of the ground floor is La Villa Grill, and they're not open yet. They're still doing finishing touches inside, so we would assume they'll be open in the next month or two. Yeah, a full service Mexican restaurant with a cantina. The entry lobby has a little fireplace, so it's really welcoming. You see some tile work on the outside, and I think the signage is going up actually today. So we're excited about that. On small part of first floor and on the second floor is WorkSource Oregon, which is a state agency. And they have moved from their former location. So they're open and operating. And on the third floor is Mount Hood Community College, their small business development center, which is open now, but since classes are all online still, they're not having classes there. And Dr. Ibolate, that's on the bottom left of that chart, is a chiropractic, physical therapy, and massage clinic. And the inside construction is about to start now. So we expect them to open in late spring or in the summer of next year. Pretty large space, and it'll be a good asset to the community. And finally, on the fourth floor is Wallace Medical Center, who is currently at the Human Solutions building on 181st. And they will be moving their clinic as well as their dental clinic. And we expect them to open actually in March. So that's exciting. So that pretty much fills out the whole building, other than about 900 square foot small space that is not leased, but otherwise it's full.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It was, a long standing commitment for many of those tenants to, continue to be involved, and then bringing in some new tenants to fill out the occupancy has been a really wonderful thing to celebrate. I just would like to put a plug that La Villa Grill will be a second location for a local business owner who has been in the Rockwood community for I believe over a decade. And so this will be an extension for him to expand to a sit-down restaurant versus a more grab and go style restaurant that he currently owns. So that is really exciting. And then all of the amenities at all of these different partners will provide a whole suite of services that are much needed in East County in this area. So congratulations for having full occupancy. And it sounds like we'll be up and running in 2021 with most of all these doors welcoming new visitors. So that's really exciting. And the building is beautiful, by the way, as well. I think just done the way that the glow in the summertime from the facade of that building is quite stunning, and can't wait to see the rest of it framed in with the other buildings.
Yeah, I think we have some pictures for those who haven't driven by. I'm assuming most of you have driven by there. We have pictures?
I think this is kind of a marquee picture. There's several on the website. Actually, if you visit our website, there's a time-lapse video of the construction of this building, which is really cool. It's about 6 minutes, so it's very quick over the course of about 10 months, but very, very cool video. So definitely check that out on our website. But yeah, thank you guys for that update. I think it's a great segue, just kind of talking about these businesses and how they're going to be established pretty much by the end of next year to kind of lay the foundation for the next building, which will be the Market Hall, which I know the community is very excited about. And that's kind of been the goal, I know, of this project, is to create a lot of synergy between all of the different buildings to make sure that they all can support each other and provide, you know, cross organization between all the different businesses. We've already seen a lot of partnerships between businesses such as Oregon Tradeswomen and Little Wings Academy, you know, who's able to provide daycare services to a lot of their students or instructors. And the same can be said for a lot of different businesses. So we're very excited about that. And with that, I'll move it over to the Market Hall. So maybe we could get an update on the construction and just kind of the tenant selection process and how people can get in the Market Hall.
Okay, I'm assuming this has been out in the community for a while, so hopefully you have information on this. But the left side is a picture from the outside. And on the right top and the left bottom is the interior. There's a hall, food hall interior, where there'll be tables and chairs in front of these small restaurants. So it'll be protected against the east winds that we get time to time there. But it'll be festive and a lot of businesses and activities spilling out onto that space. So we're excited. The construction is underway now, and you can actually go to the website and see actually construction. There's a camera there that shows a live feed, so that's kind of exciting. The foundation is in place, and they're building the foundation right now. Yeah, on the right bottom, you see the picture of the cutout from of the side. So the left side is the west side. So that is level with 185th, and there's a little bit of a grade change, and it goes to a higher level from that point out to the east. And you can see at the east end, it's actually 3 stories, and there's 2 stories of office space above the hall. This is the layout of the ground floor. So, so the far left side is the lower level, and so we'll start from the left side. The left side bottom is the POIC Rosemary Anderson commercial kitchen. So they're going to use that to serve their students here, in addition to providing education, food-related education. And right above that, there's a label called Commissary Kitchen. That will be a kitchen that is available to rent. Larger kitchen with a lot of kitchen equipment, and it can be rented on an hourly basis. So we've found, you know, there's a similar one in Mercado off of 82nd. And so it'll be operated in a similar way. Just to the north of that, you see this bunch of lines, the longer, that is a walk-in freezer and a walk-in cooler. And that will also have cabinets in it that can be rented. So it's an amenity for restaurants or other businesses. And we have plans to use that to try to figure out how to bring food from local farms to there, so it can be picked up from this location elsewhere. And then the gray areas are pretty much service areas: the water heater room, the electrical room, and the trash area and the restroom. In the middle row, those are grocery. It says grocery tenants. Those are grocery spaces, approximately a little over 1,000 square feet each, and they will front onto the beige Market Hall. The idea is for them to be smaller ethnic grocery stores So we're still looking for grocery store operators, businesses to contact us so we can locate them there. That'll be a great amenity. And then the purple ones are the micro restaurants. There you can see the 4 small ones to the north and 4 small ones to the south. That front open up onto the market area, the hall, in addition to some that fronts the parking lot to the north and parking lot to the south. At the far right, the 2 L-shaped spaces are a little bit larger restaurant spaces. And then there's 4 gray spaces called retail. Those are not restaurant, but just a regular retail. You'll see they are very, very small. They're very, very small by design. But to have all these businesses in one place will be very exciting. They will feed off of each other. Grocery stores will bring regular traffic there all the time, just like any grocery store. And the small restaurant tenants will have these restaurants that are already pre-built out with hood and sinks. And so all they will be missing would be equipment, which we expect each different restaurants to bring their own specialized, customized kitchen equipment. And this space opens up on the right side to the plaza that will be built all the way from this building out to 187th. And the little hallways to the north and the south go to the parking lots. There's parking lot in the south already, and there'll be parking lot built to the north.
Great.
How did I do? What am I missing, Emily?
No, I think you really covered all of the essentials as far as the layout of the market hall and the intention of the types of retailers and food makers and producers. There's really a variety of entry points for any food entrepreneur to participate in this market hall. And so we're really excited to see the diversity of offerings that will be provided by both the retailers as well as the restaurateurs. I just wanted to, highlight a comment that one of the things that I thought was really interesting is that we did have to go through a redesign with this market hall. And I think the redesign really elevated the opportunity to bring in more variety as far as the scale of retail spaces, and also bringing in office users so that you have a built-in consumer essentially that would be occupying the floors above the market hall. And while you went through the redesign to add these additional variety in retail and office space, you still managed to continue the openness, the layout, the access to the facility from all sides around the building. So it's very pedestrian friendly. There's a lot of different ways to access this site or this location. So for visibility for the end users that are in the market hall, there'll be lots of visibility, lots of entry points to access. And then there's just still that beautiful, high vaulted ceiling that makes it airy and feel much more like an open market, much more what you might engage with in more international style markets. So I just want to commend you on the ability to kind of maintain that character, that feel, that synergy while adding the different uses. And I think quite frankly, making it a better building. So really excited about that. The piece that I would just like to share with folks is we did do our first tenant selection process right in the middle of when COVID hit. Working with a big shout out to Amy Evans, who's our project technician. We had interviews set up to invite participants to be part of the tenant selection committee. We had roughly about 15 applications, And through that, we did a vetting process with both myself, our small business coordinator, and one of the folks from our CAM staff. We synthesized, which was really challenging because everyone was had a lot of opportunity to provide great input, but we ended up with 5 selection committee members. From all very diverse backgrounds, restaurant owners, accountants, folks that provide technical assistance in the business development world. So a real a broad and diverse group of folks that participated. And through that process, we really wanted to allow that tenant selection committee to really build out the criteria and to help guide how the selection process should look. And I think, big kudos and a celebratory kind of like finally working with the community to really design like we did with the market hall, but to really design the selection process. And so with their input, they helped craft how we would scan, basically look at the different criteria for tenant retailers to be part of this market hall. So some of that criteria included, diversity of goods and products, what types of, price scaling would be included, were there nutritious foods, were there snack foods. They really thought about all the different types of offerings that the community would really desire, both from a price point perspective, a diversity perspective, and then just an access as far as a food retailer perhaps launching their business for the first time, and then really partnering that with a more mature business where there would be this level of mentorship. So they really thought very critically about the mix of users that would be in the market hall. And so with that, they were able to do a taste testing, which I thought was phenomenal. Many of the restaurateurs that participated in the application process were interviewed, but also their food was able to be taste tested. And we did a contactless grab and go. So the entrepreneurs came, dropped off their food, and then our selection committee members were able to come pick up the food and take it home to do a taste testing. We did most of it via Zoom, this entire 2 to 3 month process, which had its own challenges, but was really effective in the end. And we have had the first round of selection and have some great tenants that will be working with RKM to fulfill their kind of lease and what that looks like for them moving into the market hall. We are still actively looking for more tenants. There is still space. So I encourage folks to go to the downtownrockwood.com website to enter into the questionnaire what their interest might be. And just so folks know, RKM as a development team has really been working with the city to ensure that we are making the leases accessible and making sure that we have the right mix. So more on that as details come to those that want to participate in the market hall, please contact me or RKM Development specifically. Is there anything you'd want to add to that, Roy, as far as the process for the tenant application?
No, I think that's right. Yeah, emails, calls, going online and putting information in, you'll be contacted immediately. Mm-hmm. And the discussion's open. Like Emily said, there are, we'll get to it maybe, but there are certain businesses that will be selected to be quote unquote incubator businesses, and they'll have discounted rents. So not everybody will be paying full rent, but that'll probably be very competitive, I would guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll be working through those details and really encourage folks to reach out to learn more about that process. do you, I think we anticipate, and we'll probably work through this, another round of working with the tenant selection committee as we get closer to the market hall. We know there's a lot of uncertainty currently in the pandemic landscape and the market landscape. So as far as kind of just general economy. So I think what our goal is to coordinate another tenant selection committee opportunity, similar to what we did in the spring. And then, we're looking at 10 more months. Is that correct for construction completion, or 12 months? We're looking at September.
Right now, the completion date is scheduled to be October 10th.
Oh, okay, October 10th. Right. So please get a hold of us so we can continue to provide resources and information. And, we know that for a lot of tenants right now, or small business owners and food businesses are struggling, quite frankly, due to the current circumstances. So there are options for, connecting to small business grants. I know Multnomah County just released a significant amount of funds through the CARES Act to East County specifically. So we want to do our best to connect you to figure out how can we stabilize these businesses as they prepare and get ready for these opportunities.
Right. The COVID uncertainties is going to be with us here for a while longer. So as we're having discussions, we're not going to ask the businesses to absolutely commit like right away. We understand the COVID restrictions have to be loosened before businesses can fully operate. So, but we're hopeful that by the time we open, that a lot of the restrictions will be lifted. So I would encourage you to start the conversation. And also, I would like to mention that we're looking for this to be a vibrant place. For it to be a vibrant place, we don't want to have 6 places that all sell tacos. We're going to have, as an example, or hamburgers. We're going to be, it's going to be diverse. We want it to reflect the Rockwood neighborhood and the diversity and excitement that this community offers. So we're looking for diverse, many different types of food, ethnic food, as opposed to food that is maybe more common everywhere. So I think that will make this market hall special. Mm-hmm. So if you have some kind of special ethnic food to offer, we'll be more interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. I can almost smell the market hall right now. Maybe it's because it's kind of near lunchtime, but I think just both from the synergy, the mentorship opportunity for small incubator businesses and anchor businesses, the options for the work that the school food program will offer to the local schools, the commissary kitchen that will have hourly access by hour by hour rates. It will, one of the things we're really looking forward to is, how do the local farm producers engage with this market hall? How can we continue to build larger sustainable food systems between distributors and local producers, and really wanting this to be a platform to elevate and provide access and distribution for our BIPOC community farmers. And so any food makers, food producers that are out there, please please reach out. We've talked about seasonal farmers markets here on the site, both during winter conditions as well as during summer and the sunnier conditions, providing distribution directly to tenants, working through the commissary kitchen. So there's a lot of intersections that can happen in this place. And I think once it's open, it will be more than we can anticipate today.
So I would also add that there are food spaces in here, but there's also non-food spaces, the retail spaces that are meant to be non-food. Also, there are 2 levels of office, and we expect a lot of service-related businesses to locate there. Although there's no storefront onto the hall, it is located on this building. Yeah, and like Emily mentioned, there'll be support services that are available. We're partnering with Miso, so if you're just starting a business for the first time or contemplating doing that, I would suggest you contact Miso and Carmen. Right, and then they'll probably help you through the thought process of opening a business for the first time.
Yeah, they're a great resource and are continuing to support a lot of businesses, both through individual development accounts to, where they do matching dollars to help build some financial capacity to really get ready and prepared for entering into a retail space. They'll provide a lot of business development readiness, wraparound services, whether you're in the idea mode or if you're in, a mature business looking for a second location, they can help you at all different scales of need. So we highly encourage you to reach out to them. And also this Mount Hood Small Business Development Center as well is a key partner in this. So they will be providing, varieties of programming and will be on site as a resource to access too. Do we cover everything? How are we doing, Shauna?
I think you guys covered a lot. I did want to share one thing. I know that the live feed was mentioned, so I wanted to share that quickly. This can also be accessed through our website, but you should be able to see this screen, which is a live footage of the site right now. It's pretty cool. You can actually go through, as I refresh, you can go through back to other dates of the month. Oh, sorry. Is this not showing?
I don't think it is.
Oh.
It's not, active.
Oh, let me try it again. Okay.
There we go.
Cool.
Is it there now? Okay, cool. Great. So this is the live feed of the site. You can actually go back. If I go back to, let's say, Monday, you can start let's start 5 in the morning. And it'll actually play a live feed of the kind of like, not live, I guess it's like a time lapse of the progress, which is pretty cool. So that link is available on our website and you can go check it out at any time just to kind of keep abreast of the progress. As Roy mentioned earlier, you can kind of tell that the footings have been poured, the concrete footings have been poured. Oops. The concrete footings have been poured for the outline of the building. And I don't know if you want to kind of explain more about what has happened from a construction perspective.
Yeah, so the footings are already underneath these little stem walls. And then now we have these little stem walls that go around. They sit on the footings. And then now that these are done, they would fill in all the interior spaces with gravel. And then they will put plumbing underneath that are supposed to be there underground. They come up in the right places. And then they'll pour the slab, the ground floor slab on that. I think that's expected to happen, I don't know, January or February, something like that. I forgot the date actually. And then after that, they'll start framing vertically. So it'll go pretty fast once we get going. Yeah, but you can see the outline. You can see in the middle, there's a hall, the hall that comes out to the right side, to the plaza to the right. And the little 2 corridors that go north and south.
That's great.
Great, yeah, very cool.
Roy,
So
do you want to, I'm sorry, Shauna, to interrupt.
No,
Did
go
you
ahead.
want to mention anything about Colas Construction? I was, as far as their partnership and the goals that together you have met with the GC, would that be, I know we just received a report on the business and workforce equity goals, so I thought maybe it might be something worth sharing and celebrating.
Yeah, the general contractor for this project is Colas Construction. So we're, and they have been keeping track of the diversity goals and have continued to try to push that boundary, including providing support for those that might need or want support. So it's been exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as part of our partnership with Archaeum, we're looking at business and workforce equity goals related to the construction of the site. And we partnered with the National Association of Minority Contractors with Nate McCoy to work with Colas Construction to track and record the workforce that is contributing to the construction of the site and location. Our goal was at 20% was what we were hoping to reach. And based on the report that they've provided us, they've reached beyond that at almost 30%. We know we can continue to, I know Colas Construction continues to do more outreach and encouraging those smaller contractors to participate. There is more still to be done as far as the finer details, the painting, some of the TIs and things like that. So I think they'll continue to work through with NAMAC on identifying some of those diverse contractors to participate in the construction. So just another note of congratulations to your team and your commitment, Roy. We at the city are grateful for that, and they know that the community is as well. So
great. Okay, well, as we kind of wrap it up, I believe this kind of leads to our Q&A portion. For anyone that's live on the Zoom and would like to submit a question, there should be a button at the bottom of your screen titled Q&A where you can type in any questions that you might have. Otherwise, we have some questions that have been pre-submitted that we can go ahead and kind of work through. Let's see, I know it's lunchtime, so we don't want to take too long, but I'll just go ahead and ask some questions here, and Roy and Emily, you guys can kind of tag team them based on, you know, the input that you guys have. So first question, a lot of these have kind of already been addressed throughout the discussion, but, and I know you kind of, Roy, you kind of touched on the types of businesses that you're looking to have at the market hall, but can you kind of expand on that? I know you mentioned having a diverse array, but what other types of businesses between the offices and the groceries, what type of synergy are you looking for? And is it just diversity? Is it going to be, you know, price sensitive? What type of businesses are you looking for?
So first of all, the diverse so I believe the market hall will work better if there were more diverse types of options. So you know, it goes from different ethnic food, different types of food, dinner type versus lunch type versus breakfast type, versus snack type versus desserts. So we're gonna try to mix these as much as we can. We also wanna mix as much of the price point as possible. So we don't want everything to be inexpensive. We don't want everything to be expensive. We want it to be kind of all mixed. So all different options are available. As to the business types, I think it's important to have these grocery stores in addition to having very small restaurants, in addition to having some other types of service related or other types of retailers. It could be selling handmade jewelry to, it could be flower shop, it could be anything like that, or gift store. So just in general, the diversity is what we're going to be looking for. Yeah, I don't know if that answers the question.
I would probably just add too, if I remember correctly, there's still sort of a in that center aisle of the market hall, there's still a portion of it that we've talked about having sort of pop-up markets. Is that still has maintained some level of option? Is that correct, Roy?
Yes, there are like stalls
Yes.
that will be built inside. So it'll be not as permanent as the built-in spaces, but those would be more like pop-up or short-term or seasonal business. So regardless of your size or types of businesses they are, we would like to hear from you.
I think that's great. One of the things that I thought would be really interesting, and then just having talked to some of our BIPOC producers, and just for folks who may or may not know, BIPOC is Black, Indigenous, and people of color producers and farmers, and how we can help support them. You know, I would really love to see some sort of farm collective, right, as part of offering fresh fruits and vegetables on site. And if there's somebody out there who has an interest or a desire of thinking about how to bring together maybe some small producers to occupy one of the retail spaces, whether it's the grocery space or even just the pop-up space, I think that would be such a wonderful space to highlight the opportunity of access to fresh and healthy foods, but also just the uniqueness of being able to provide a variety of different culturally specific foods that are seasonal and that are fresh and ever changing, which I think will draw in more market you know, pedestrians coming in and out to kind of see what are the changes in the market, what offerings are new, what is seasonal. So this idea that there's sort of this changing and kind of dynamic landscape inside the market will help bring in more patrons, I think, to kind of investigate and explore what the market has to offer. So I just throwing that out there as a thought to think about. As far as the office spaces, I'm a little bit curious if you've had any interest in those yet, Roy, and how we might encourage our community participants or the city to help identify some key occupants for that space.
Yeah, we have had some calls, but I don't think any of them have amounted to a serious discussion. So, but we're open. It's approximately 15,000 square feet of office space in 2 floors, so approximately a little over 7,000 each. And we're open to any businesses that might want to locate there. But obviously, we'll be more interested if they can be synergistic. It fits with other businesses that are here. So hopefully that's the type of businesses that we'll get.
Suppose it's a hard commitment right now, given the current situation with office spaces. So as you mentioned, I think having them be synergistic with the existing uses will help make that whole building really operate and be awesome. So we'll keep our eyes and ears open. Is there going to be some flex space too? Has there been any discussion about potentially having flex office space that's more kind of hourly?
No, we haven't. There have been early discussions, but I don't think those discussions have really gone too far, but it's something that we can explore, certainly.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'm actually going to stop sharing so we can see everyone's faces. I feel like that's a little bit more exciting for Q&A. Next question we have is about the commissary kitchen. How will that be rented out and who can use it and how does that process work? Is it only for tenants or is it open to the public?
The commissary kitchen is open to the public, and there's going to be an app or a website, and it'll be a scheduling website so you can sign up there. And the access will be electronically given, so it'll be easy for anyone who wants to, but it's open to the public, open to anyone.
Okay, great.
I
Next,
just wanted to-
sorry, go ahead, yeah.
I just wanted to elaborate a little bit about kind of the details. I know a lot of folks that are interested in our hourly rated commercial kitchens. You know, how does the cold storage play into that? Is it a separate cost related to the hourly rate, and how does that get managed? And how are things within the cold storage being, I guess, supervised or and processed?
So that is separate because we've found some need a lot of storage and some need less storage. So we'll operate it separately. Again, it'll be easy to get involved, to rent spaces. And as to the control, there will be cameras everywhere just so that we can confirm the timing and who's coming in and who's coming out. Although the access will be controlled using electronic control, electronic access devices.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's helpful. So it'll sort of be like renting lockers in a cold storage facility based on size and scale.
Correct. I'll go ahead and add to what the question was. There is certainly, we don't want the businesses that are in the market hall to run out of space. So there'll be some kind of system to make sure they get their space. Maybe they get it first, or something like that.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, great. We also received a question about the plaza and whether or not that's part of this project or when that will be done. And also about what kind of programming will be happening there and who's going to be running it.
The plaza will be constructed as part of the market hall. So when market hall opens in October, the plaza will be open. The plaza will have playground structures. It'll have the water features where kids can go inside and play, and it'll be actively programmed. So Emily mentioned the farmers market. Certainly in the summer, we'll have farmers market there, but there'll be plenty of other events as well. And the maintenance will be done by the staff at Market Hall as part of the Market Hall operation, since Market Hall Insight will have to be maintained as well. But the programming and the events that are there will be done in partnership between the Market Hall and the city.
That's right. And the nonprofit that oversees the current construction of the Market Hall and the Plaza will be actively working with community organizations and community members on how to activate that space, whether, well, it'll be operationalized and maintenance by the Market Hall staff and team. There'll be a lot of engagement and outreach opportunity to help us figure out what should this event space offer and what types of things could happen there. We definitely have a lot of space for adaptability to do large events like we did in the past with Rock the Block. My understanding is that there's electricity, water access, and opportunities to do stage staged events. So there's a lot of flexibility on that site. I think if this continues to be true, correct me if I'm wrong, Roy, but that it even has the appropriate size for a rollout mini futsal court if folks wanted to potentially do some kind of programming. Is that still an option?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So lots of flexibility and opportunity to do lots of different gatherings and events.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that brings up a point, Emily, that I probably, maybe it's worth mentioning, that this market hall is actually owned by a nonprofit. The nonprofit organization was set up to own and run the market hall as well as the plaza. So we have been hired by the nonprofit to develop the site and to manage the site. But the ownership is a nonprofit and it'll be operated as a nonprofit.
Great.
I would just want to note on that. I think something that's really important about that is that as the kind of the goal for the nonprofit over this is that as revenue starts to come through the market hall, and the first few years we're just getting business ready, trying to stabilize, but if you look to the future of the market hall, those revenue streams will go directly back into the market hall and the plaza for programming, staffing, and operations. So just something to kind of think forward about. It really is a collective effort that everyone does well in this space in order to generate continued activity. So
Great, thank you. Okay, we got a few in through the question, the Q&A button here in Zoom. So let's see. Will there be, what type of content can tenant candidates be expecting moving forward? Will there be a directory for tenants to be able to connect with other providers such as BIPOC growers? And what part will the tenants play in the overall marketing for this location? A lot of questions.
Great questions and great comments. I think directory for the businesses to connect, that's a great idea. And I think we'll go ahead and make sure that that is available and connect with BIPOC growers. Maybe we'll create some kind of a portal for businesses as well as growers to connect. I think that's a great idea. I think that I remember having a discussion like this at a higher level conceptually early on. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we did talk about it, Roy, very early on as far as thinking about distribution and producers. And so just to kind of give you an update too, we have been working with a local organization through the REACH, the Multnomah County REACH grant, the Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health, have been working with a couple of different local organizations that have provided us a sourcing list as well as a food mapping tool around kind of what's local regional producers, both just large distributors and sort of micro distributors, so from the varying scales. And then now we have another layer of a sourcing list of food makers and producers that are BIPOC focused. So we will, I think all of that great content will then, we'll work together to figure out how to best distribute that and have access to it.
Great.
There's another part to that question, I feel like, Shauna, that maybe we missed.
Well, there was a question about also just what kind of contact it seems like existing tenant candidates can expect moving forward. And whether or not the tenants will be able to play some kind of role in the marketing for the market hall moving forward.
Yeah, the last question, I think that's also a great idea. So I think I'm gonna make sure we have an avenue for that. Obviously, in general, there'll be a market hall manager who will be communicating constantly with every business. So we feel like that manager will have a pulse on every business. So organically, we should always, the market hall should always know the marketing ideas or needs or desires of the businesses.
Yeah, and I believe as part of our partnership, there will be a sort of, I'm not sure the term or the name that we'll be calling it, but a market committee. So there will be a process in which there will be a market committee that helps work with the market manager. And some of them may be, you know, folks, community folks, businesses, things like that, to give input about these very issues like marketing or branding and, you know, communications, to help really build the bridges far and wide as far as getting folks to come to visit the market hall. So that will also be in play as the market hall opens. And then the existing tenants, if we have already been through the tenant selection committee process, I believe RKM's team is in contact with them. If not them, then with MISO as well. So I would hope that they have already that established relationship. And then through downtownrockwood.com, our newsletters and our email contacts and the Facebook, we will be launching future community outreach events related to the tenants on the market. So.
Great. Well, we're coming up right on 1 hour, and I want to be conscious of everyone's time. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. I will say, if anyone's questions weren't answered, please definitely reach out to info@downtownrockwood.com, and we'll definitely respond to you as quickly as possible. Additionally, as Emily has mentioned, there's a lot of information on the website, including, you know, applying on the tenant questionnaire to be a part of the market hall. So definitely check out the website, not only for that, but also just lots of great other things like the time-lapse video of the construction and the live feed and things of that nature. We will be doing another kind of virtual update as we get closer to the completion. Tenant communication will kind of intensify in the spring. It's still a little bit early as we kind of get through the holidays and through the winter, but we anticipate being closely in contact with the different businesses and partners as spring and summer kind of nears, as completion comes to fruition. And the next webinar we're hoping to have sometime in the spring, kind of to provide another update and hopefully the light at the end of the tunnel of all this. So that's kind of our goal. And this webinar, as I mentioned, was recorded and will be posted online to our website, hopefully by the end of today, as soon as it is available. So with that, I want to thank our panelists, Roy and Emily, for participating. And yeah, have a great rest of the week, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks for putting it together, Shauna.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Everyone. Take
Bye.
care.
Happy holidays.
Bye.